everybody, welcome to Fiber Fun with Olivia. My name is Olivia. I am a crocheter, I am a knitter, and I like to geek out and nerd out on anything fiber related. I hope you do too. If you are new here, welcome to the Fiber Fun Familia. I hope you have a little bit of fun with us, and if you are a returning subscriber, welcome back. I'm just a little bit silly around here. Welcome to another episode of Whips, Sips, and Fiber Fun Chitter Chatter. This is where on Fridays, except for today, apologies, this video had to go up on Saturday. It's been crazy, but normally they're every Friday, and I share a little bit of my whips, works in progress, finished objects, what I'm sipping on today, and I talk about anything fiber related and just chit chat with you all. So that's what we're going to do today. What is our sip today? I'm actually almost done with it. I made myself some black tea today. The tea that I'm using is from my October Yarnable box. Their theme that month was the Raven. And so they put some black tea in here, which is quite delicious. Let me see if I can open it. I can show you. It's yummy. I think the company is Simpson and Vale, and the name of it is Edgar Allan Poe's Black Tea Blend. Looks like they're in Connecticut. I'm gonna look them up, and it's called the Literary Tea Collection. I hope they still have it. I don't know if it was something special for just Yarnable or maybe just something special for the month of October, but it's pretty yummy. So I'm gonna go check them out. Let's have another sip, shall we? Yummy, yummy, yummy. I did put in a little bit, just a little bit of brown sugar to give it a little kick. Today I don't have any whips to share with you because I have two finished objects, so I will be sharing those with you. Even though I don't have any works in progress, I'm going to share some ideas that I have. As you all know, I am being very intentional this year, 2023. I want to de-stash and use up my yarn. I want to use my patterns from my books and my magazines. I want to use what I have, right? So if that's something you want to do too, please join me. We'll do it together. Let's stash bust in 2023. I actually use that hashtag quite a bit, stash busting in 23, because I am on a mission to de-stash. I'm still buying yarn. I love yarn. I enjoy buying yarn. We'll talk about that later. But yeah, I want to stash bust what I have. I want to make sure that I'm making items. So I will be sharing two finished objects with you all today. And speaking of magazines and books, I am sharing a few that I purchased a few weeks ago. I thought I had shared them with you here on YouTube, but I realized that I shared them on Instagram. If you don't follow me on Instagram, I invite you to come and follow me there, because when I come home all excited and I just purchased yarn or I just purchased a knitting or crochet book, I share it in my stories on Instagram. That's where you'll really hear me geek out. So I'm going to share some of those with you, some magazines and books that I purchased. All right, let's get started, shall we? The first finished object that I have to share with you is the Autumn Skies Infinity Scarf that I made with Lion Brand Ferris wheel. I shared it in my last Whips and Sips video. Here it is done. I did not do it, so it's supposed to be you do 15 rows and then you close it off and you do 15 rows this way. I didn't do it 15 rows this way. I only did it 8 rows because I thought I had run out of that yarn. Lo and behold, as I was doing my yarn inventory, if you haven't been seeing my videos, I'm doing a yarn inventory. So glad that I am, because I found more of this yarn. But anyways, I digress. So I had finished it, and I'm not going to add any more because I actually like the thickness of it. I think it is just right, with enough like little spaces to give me air, because sometimes I get really hot, but not too many so that I don't get cold and my neck is cozy. I get hot flashes, you guys. I get hot flashes, and so sometimes I just can't wear like a big jacket or like a hat or anything. I just need my neck to be warm and everything else is okay. So as long as I keep this area, you know, warm, I'm good. So this is done and I really, really love how it came out. This yarn does all the work for us. I won't go on and on about Ferris wheel and how much I love this yarn because you guys have already heard me. But I do love this pattern as well. And as I shared before, I'm trying to find like a little area to share with you. I love the texture of this. I really do. And I love the texture on the back too because it has ridges. And so that way you don't have to, you know, it doesn't matter what side is showing, right? They both look pretty. I really like this. I'm really happy. The pattern will be linked down below. If you're interested, as always, I always link the patterns that I'm talking about. So this is my first finished object. My second finished object is a blanket that I started last year. I want to say February, March. I'm not even really sure. But because, again, I was doing the yarn inventory and I found some yarn that was meant for this blanket that I had started, and then I stopped. I got sidetracked, you know, as one does, on another project, and I forgot all about this. This was behind my living room sofa. And since I was doing the yarn inventory and I found the yarn and I'm like, oh my gosh, that's right, that was for this blanket. I went and finished it. This is folded up into 4. The name, let me see, I wrote it down here. So the designer is Beatrice Yarn Designs. And it looks like somehow I found this. Don't ask me how. This was her 2021 Crochet With Me Mystery Winter Afghan. Somehow I saw pictures of this blanket. I don't know if it was on Ravelry, on Instagram, on Pinterest, I don't know. But I saw it and I loved it and I started using this yarn. I had a few skeins of this yarn. It's the Caron, I can't remember, but I'll link it down below. And I got a couple more because I just loved the color. So, it's really big. It's not, I'm moving myself back here. Let's see, let me stand up. Hopefully you can see, but yeah, it's here. I'm standing up and I'm short, I'm 5'2", and it pretty much goes to the top of my head. I know you can't see that from there, but, and then it goes all the way across, you know, if I open my arms all the way across. So it's pretty big, and the yarn is pretty, I don't want to say heavy, but it is kind of heavy because this is a granny stitch for the most part. It does have some interesting stitches in there. Let me see. Let me find them. Maybe not interesting stitches, but just, you know, like little, I don't know what these are called. Just, you know, changing it up a little bit. It has some little fans in there to make it interesting. It's not just that granny stitch. And I really liked it. It was simple. And here you can kind of see that there were some, you know, front post double crochet. So just to give it a little bit of texture. One thing that I really liked about this blanket was that it wasn't difficult. It's a pretty easy pattern. You don't have to focus so much. I was able to do it when I was watching TV with my hubby or kids. And what I was really enjoying was the yarn. How lovely the yarn was, because it has the teal, the pinks, the lilac, the gray. Yeah, I just really enjoyed this and I'm really happy that I finished it. I'm still not sure if I'm going to keep it. This is the type of project that I would keep because these are my colors, these are my jam. But I've been doing a lot of those things that are my color, my jam. So I don't know. I don't know. We shall see. But it is nonetheless my second finished object and I am quite happy with it. Now, as I mentioned, I don't have any works in progress, but I have been looking into some. You guys, I'm obsessed with the Grocery Girl knits. I am obsessed. I love them. I don't know how I didn't know about them, but I am glad that somehow I ended up finding them a few months ago, and I can't watch their lives unfortunately, because they do their lives mostly. It's not like edited videos that they upload. Their lives, and they can last from 1 to 2 hours. So I watch those on the weekend. Oh my God, you guys. And I really need to stop watching them because they show their projects, their whips, their finished objects, yarn lines. They talk about, they have some patterns and yarn lines of their own. And by the way, if you don't know who they are, it is two sisters in Canada, and I actually have their names, Jody Brown and Tracy Millar. I'm obsessed. I'm obsessed. And then they show these patterns and I'm just like, oh my God. I like have to have a pen and paper literally next to me when I watch them, because I want to write all these things down and go look them up after. And yeah, they have beautiful items that they share and that they make, or that they just know about. They share information about other designers and the yarn lines that they use. Oh my God. I really like the colors that they choose, and it's just, and they're so fun to watch. They're laughing, they're like uncensored. So if you're a little bit sensitive, maybe we'll check them out and see what you think. But I love them. I love them. Anyway, I'm obsessed. And the reason I bring that up is because one of the whips that I want to make is the Friday hat by Jody Brown. And I've been trying to look for something to use this skein of yarn. Remember, I'm trying to be intentional, and I love this so much. And I thought it would be perfect for her Friday hat. However, it is, it's not a free pattern. It is on Ravelry. So I was thinking of getting it. And then I told myself, Olivia, come on, go look for a hat pattern that's free. Just try. So I went and looked, and I found one by Lion Brand, and it's called the Seed Rib Hat. And I think it's pretty. I like it, but I like the Friday hat more, so I may end up just purchasing that pattern. I tell myself I'll make more than one. I don't know. So I'm looking at those two projects for a hat, and then on the ridge, I have some Stylecraft Special DK that I think might go good with this. What do you guys think? Because this has some pink and some brown, and I think, this could be the edge of the hat, the trim. I still don't know the terminology. I forget what everything is called, but yeah, the edging of the hat. So I think this might go well together, regardless of which pattern I decide to make. Two other patterns that I've had my eyes on is, so Tracy Millar, the one of the sisters in Grocery Girl Knits, she also designs, and she has a pattern that's called Tartan Toque and Tube. I'll put pictures somewhere. So pretty. So I'm also eyeing that one to use up some of my DK yarn. And then, so for those of you that don't know, because I have my make along right now, right? My D-Stash make along. And if you don't know, that video will be listed in the description box below. But I created a Facebook group so that we could share how we're doing in our make along, or just talk about anything that excites us, where, fiber related. And so one of the members in there mentioned, actually not mentioned, they made this pattern and it looks so pretty. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I have to go look it up. So I went to go look it up. The name of the pattern is Night Shift by Andrea Mowry. I don't want to mention the person's name in the Facebook group because I didn't ask for permission, but thank you. You know who you are. You shared that pattern, and the funny thing was that last weekend when I went to look at my, watch later videos on YouTube, the very first video they mentioned this pattern. And I can't remember what that YouTube channel is, but I'll list it down below too, or put it here. But I'm like, oh my gosh, that's the universe sending me signs. You need to make this. So it's a really pretty pattern, Night Shift by Andrea Mowry. It uses Aran weight yarn. So I'm thinking I can pull out some of my Aran weight or worsted weight yarn and use up and de-stash, right? So those are some of the patterns that I have in my mind. One of those will be next. It'll probably get started on this weekend, and I'll be sharing soon. All right, now I wanted to share some books and magazines that I purchased recently as well. This one I am really excited about. I actually saw it at Michael's and resisted, and then when I came home, I looked it up online and I found it cheaper. Anyway, let me show you what it is. You guys know I love to de-stash. You guys know I love my scrap gans. If you didn't know, now you know. I love scrap gans. I love finding patterns and using up my yarn. And I love for them to be different skeins of yarn, because that's how I buy yarn. I'll buy one or two that I really love, and then I'll buy one or two of this, and I end up with like this variety of yarn, and I like my scrap gans to be very colorful. So, and you guys know I like texture. Come on, Olivia, spit it out. This is a Tunisian sampler blanket. Not only did I like the idea of using all of those colors, but all of that texture. It's a really thin book. It's just for this blanket and this pillow. I probably won't be making the pillow. On the back, you can kind of see the stitches. Now I have something to admit. Tunisian has been having a moment for a couple of years already, and I have to admit I was like so not into it, so not into it. I was like, I mean, it's like bringing crochet and knitting into one, and I used to think, why not just crochet or why not just knit? I know. Well, I don't know what it was, but I found a Tunisian lace stitch on Pinterest, and I thought, let me give it a try. So I gave it a try. I got myself a Tunisian hook. Oh my God, I literally got hooked. And then after that, I tried some other Tunisian crochet stitches, and some of them I didn't like as much because they were too tight or too, like, not airy enough almost. So I came to realize that I do like Tunisian crochet, but I like the lacy stitches. That's one of the things that I noticed on here, that a lot of them were lacy. So I want to try them. Not to mention, this is a de-stash project. Let me know if you all are interested in doing a make-along with Tunisian crochet. I know some people aren't into it, and some people are like really into it. I know Tony Lipsy has a lot of Tunisian crochet patterns, and they're beautiful. So I'm really excited about this. I'm not exactly sure when I'm gonna start this. I haven't planned out that far, but I'm just really excited about this book. This is kind of what it looks like from the outside, in the inside, because it takes you on like row 10 to 15, we're going to be making this stitch, and it gives you the instructions, and then row blah 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 to blah blah blah. And so it just does that. Inside it just has another picture of that same, the blanket, the one that's on the front. I probably should have showed you the one inside because it's not as glary. But anyway, I'm really excited about this. I got this. I will link it down below. I did buy this off of Amazon, and it was a little bit less expensive, so I'll list it down below in case anyone's interested. I know I've mentioned before, so many of you already know that I like to take my kids to Barnes & Noble. We do this once a month, and I go to the yarn magazine section, the knitting and crochet section. And this last time when we went, I found I am a sucker for Noro magazines. I have been for quite a while now. And so there was a new one, and I had to get it. I had to get it. This is issue 21. It's their 10th anniversary, and it says it has 30 new ideas for fall, knit wow. And now Noto, if I remember correctly, the very first issues were only knit, but now they have both knit and crochet patterns, which I love. So it says here they have some classic cables, some botanical beauty patterns, and then a one skein balaclava. I'm pretty sure I shared a lot of these on Instagram because I was so excited when I got home. I'm just going to show you some favorites. They're so pretty. And this is what I mean. I get these magazines and then I forget them. And so I want to be intentional about going back and using the patterns. Oh my God, look at this blanket. That's knit. Oh, so pretty. Look, look. I love this sweater. I want to get to the point where I can make myself a sweater that's colorful and that has knit color work in there. Here's some crochet ones. Look at that. So pretty. Oh, here, let me show you if I can, so you can kind of get a sneak peek of all of them. They have a couple of pages here where you can see all of them. I hope that shows up well. It just reminded me, this one, let's see, page 40. This is one of the ones I definitely want to try and make. Isn't that pretty? It starts off like a doily and then it ends up becoming the square and it just becomes a full-on sweater. This is called Mitered Top. Designer is Irina Poludnenko. Love that. So that is the Noto magazine, issue 21. The next magazine that I got is by Interweave Knits. A long time ago when I used to live in Florida and I was a stay-at-home mom and had a lot more time, I used to subscribe to Interweave Knits. I actually subscribed to Interweave Knits and Crochet magazine, but then I stopped and I saw this Interweave Knits Winter 2023 magazine. This is the front of the magazine. And I saw some pretty items in there because I tell myself, unless you're really gonna make it, Olivia. What really made me want to get this magazine when I was flipping through it is that it has this article on making better sweaters. And I know I mentioned in a prior video that I intend to make my very first sweater this year. Hint, hint, collab videos coming soon. That's all I'm gonna say. But there are plans, there are plans. The article goes on for a few pages and it has some really good tips. And I thought, you know what? I wanna read that. And this whole magazine has nothing but sweaters in it. I won't go too much into it. If you want me to do a specific video on one of these magazines or books, let me know because I'm happy to do that. I really enjoyed doing those videos actually. And then the last item is a book by Pom Pom. It's called Ready, Set, Raglan. Pullover Patterns for Every Knitter. So when I get into something or I'm planning for something, I want to read all the things I want to. So lately I'm into sweaters because I want to make a sweater. And so when I was listening to the Grocery Girls Knits, they mentioned, and they've mentioned multiple times, that if it's your first sweater, they recommend making a raglan. So I thought this would be a good one to have. This is the back of it. And what was really cool is that you could order this book online and get the actual book and get the digital copy as well. So I started leafing through the digital copy right away when I purchased it because I was able to download it. I only got it a couple of days ago in the mail. But here's what's really cool. It has, I don't know if you can see, it starts you off with easy raglan patterns, gives you a lot of tips. First it does an introduction and all kinds of stuff, but I'm kind of like top-down raglan basics. I mean, this is really geared towards somebody who's brand new to knitting raglans. And then it goes into a section called the patterns. And they start you off with a really, really simple one. Here's a picture of it. And it's called Eris, the stocking stitch. And then the next pattern, and of course they have a ton of information on that. They even tell you how tall the model is, like the measurements, so that you know, like, so that you know, like, if it fits the model here, where will it fit you? A lot of these models are tall, so I'm really grateful for that because I'm short. I'm 5'2", so I need to know if it fits that model, you know, in a certain place. It's probably gonna go down to my knee. Okay, maybe not my knee, but you know what I'm saying. So it's really helpful information. And then the next one, it's the same sweater, but it's called Woodwardia, the stocking stitch raglan with decorative increases. So it's basically the same sweater, but with a decorative increase. And then they also give you different options for the neck. And so they keep doing that every time. Like they have the next pattern, and then it gets to a point where like these increases are cables. They give you options, different options on how to do your necks. They give you options on how to finish, and they start adding color. So I'm really impressed, and I've learned a lot already from this book. It's by Pom Pom again, and I got it online. I'll put the link down below in case you're interested too, but I'm really excited about this. So that was it for my magazines and books that I wanted to share with you all today. Very last on my mental agenda today, I want to remind everybody the make-along ends on February 15th, so you still have a couple more weeks to work on your make-along items or to begin another last-minute one. I got 2 done, and I'm really happy with my 2 items. Please remember it ends February 16th, and please remember that you have to email me a picture of your finished item. I know I can see your pictures on Instagram through the hashtag, but I'm not going to share those pictures because I don't want to assume that it's okay for me to share your pictures on the YouTube video at the end of February, right? So please make sure to email me your picture if you want it to be shared on my video, and if you want to be entered to the giveaway, because I did say everybody who sends me a picture of a finished item, it counts towards a giveaway. And I'm just going to choose some of my yarn somewhere. I don't even know what yarn it'll be, you guys, but I'll put something together, and it'll be fun to send somebody, you know, that I select at random, of course, and send you some yarn, some of my yarn, stash yarn. Actually, one more thing that I wanted to share with you is I hope you all have been enjoying my yarn inventory. It has been helping me tremendously because it's reminding me what I have. There are 1 or 2 more coming, so you might see another one tomorrow on Sunday. I'm not sure. It might be 1 or 2 more, but there's definitely at least 1 more video coming. Because I still have my fingering weight, and I had some surprise DK weight that I found. So yeah, it'll probably be, and then the cotton yarn. So I don't know, 2 or 3 more videos coming your way. All right, thank you so much for being here with me today. I hope you have a lovely day, and I hope you go out there and have some fiber fun. Talk to you later. Bye.